Barakateh Hawashai Ba'ashim Rachach Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect. That's what these lessons are for. Quick update. This is a page on YouTube by the title Wired. 9,000,084 subscribers. Very popular. And the title says The Science Behind Elon Musk's Neuralink Brain Chip. And it goes into it, which I'll play, some of the videos so you can get a gist of what it's going into. And then, of course, I'll go into this article here, which I've done a video previously on Neuralink, which that's all a part of the RFID, the Charagma, the C-HIP, okay?
Chip company recently pushed back on claims that it violated animal welfare laws a few years ago while testing on monkeys. This year, the company plans to test on human subjects. But when it does, what would this major step mean for brain implant science?
Academics like me have conducted clinical trials in people with brain implants.
Dr. Paul Niajukian is a professor of bioengineering and neurosurgery. He directs the brain interfacing laboratory at Stanford.
For about 20 years now. Academic research brain implants, up until this point, more or less, have almost exclusively been with wires. The difference that the N1 has, that the Neuralink, it's fully implantable, it is battery powered, it is wireless. All of this is being done over Bluetooth protocol.
Let's dive into the science behind Neuralink to understand how exactly human brain chips work.
The science behind how these implants work is not that different from how you would go about trying to measure the energy from a AA battery. It's the same principle that we're doing with these brain implants. This is called neuroelectrophysiological recording. When you move your arm to the right, certain sets of neurons are activated in a certain pattern. Listening in to that activity and that pattern, you can predict very quickly which direction the arm is going to move. These are the neurons that are directly wired to your muscle.
Unless that pathway from the brain to the spinal cord to the muscle is damaged, the way it is in patients with paralysis.
That pathway is damaged, then the neural signals, the signals from the brain, aren't going to get down to move the muscles. But in many cases, the signals are still present in the brain. They're just not getting out. So if you reach in and put something that listens in to those neurons, and you know what's happening to the muscle.
And that's the goal of a brain implant. Now let's look at a timeline of brain interface breakthroughs over the years. Scholars have long been interested in how the brain works, so it's important to view these new developments at Neuralink as a culmination of breakthroughs by brain-machine interface researchers, especially in the last few decades. For example, in 2002, the first demonstration of real-time cursor control in monkeys took place. 2008, a monkey controlling a robotic arm in 3 dimensions fed itself. 2012, the first brain-controlled robotic arm by a human. 2017, a human controlled a cursor mentally to type out words and sentences. Dr. Niajukian was part of this study, as well as the one in 2018, where a human subject mentally controlled a tablet to do things like browse the web, send emails, and play games or music.
All that's been done with a couple hundred electrodes.
But in 2019, Neuralink, a private company, changed the game when it unveiled a pig named Gertrude with a wireless implant that monitored about 1,000 neurons.
The neurons are like wiring, and you kind of need an electronic thing to solve an electronic problem.
So, as you can see, brothers, and those of you sisters that watch these videos, the RFID, the C-HIP, the MOTB is coming very soon. The phone had to ding on that one. Alright. I will leave this video in the comment, not the comment, Salaki, the description box. You can go ahead and check it out. And also, when you read down here in the comments, you have a person by the name of Harry Mockett. It says, I had a brain tumor, and as a result, I am now missing my pituitary gland, which controls all my hormone production, among other things. This kind of technology could literally change my life one day. Very exciting stuff. So you're going to have certain people that are lining up, for, the MOTB, the C-HIP, Okay, because this is what Neuralink is about anyway. This man is pushing, you know, this upon the people. This is the charagma. This is the karax. Okay, what the scriptures say, in your forehead or in your right hand. So you could pretty much, you're gonna be able to put it in your head or put it in your hand. That's what John saw. John saw people taking brain chips. John saw people taking chips in their hands. Okay, that's why he described that. And you have a lot of people now that live, you know, in present day with this already. This is not a thing that's, you know, it's coming. It's already here. The only thing is that it's gonna come on a more global scale. All right. So, like I said, I'll leave this in the description box. Let me read this. Elon Musk's Neuralink set to reveal its new finding on November 30th. And it's talking about this year, which today is what, November 21st. You have a big distraction coming up, the so-called Thanksgiving, which is a pagan holiday anyway, as you all should know. It says Neuralink has demonstrated its brain implant in pigs and monkeys since going public in 2017. You got this devil, who he's nothing but a lesser luminary. He's one of the front men for the elites. He's not the richest man in the world. That's all propaganda. All right. It says Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, announced on Monday that he will provide additional information about the work his brain implant business Neuralink is undertaking on November 30th. So we don't know what 2023 can hold. In 2023, they may very well announce this thing, the MOTB, on a global scale and force people to take it. All right. There could be an economical collapse that will force people to take it. All right. Either way, it's being pushed slowly but surely. They're getting it up in there. And sooner or later, they're going to make it a household name. They do that all by the way of gradualism, all by the way of normacy bias. All right. It says, however, Musk made no further mention of the specifics of what Neuralink will present. We're not ignorant of this man's devices. He tweeted Neuralink show until now on November 30th, which, like I said before, I had already did a video on this, but now we're getting ready, to be, on November 30th. We're going to see what happens. Musk has said that the implant from Neuralink, which records and stimulates brain activity, may help individuals deal with diseases like obesity. Obesity ain't no goddamn disease. Obesity is a discipline and a non-discipline. All right? The less you eat, the smaller you'll be. The more you eat, the bigger you'll be. That's not a disease. That is a discipline. Okay? What did Paul say? Paul said that he put his body on, he bring his members into subjection under him, man. All right? What does it say, man? It says Musk predicts that Neuralink brain chips will one day make people extremely clever and enable paralyzed people to regain their ability to move. So this is the miracles that it talks about, man, in the scriptures. This man is trying to perform another miracle, okay? And he's going to deceive a lot of you people into taking this thing, which this is definitely the MOTB, okay? Whether you call it Neuralink or whatever. You take a brain chip, you take a hand chip, you're finished. It says the University of California, Davis, conducted a series of tests included the implantation of brain chips in the brains of monkeys. Neuralink, a company that develops brain-machine interfaces, is getting ready to start human clinical trials in which brain chips will be implanted. So you're going to have people lining up to take these goddamn brain chips. And this is what John the Revelator saw. He saw things like this going on. We are definitely in the end. All right. It says Neuralink has demonstrated its brain implant in pigs and monkeys since going public in 2017. So you're going to have people like the person in the comment board going back to this video that made this comment here. how they had their pituitary gland removed, and he said, "Oh, this thing could change his life." You know, people like that are gonna be lining up, and eventually they're gonna make it to where you cannot buy or sell. Okay, it's all gradualism, but just know that you heard it from the prophets, man. It says Neuralink. I think I read that. Neuralink has demonstrated. I read that. The primary goal of the project is to establish a direct link between brain and a computer. So what's that? That's making you the Internet of Things. Okay, that's transhumanism. Okay, the only transform we are looking for is to be transformed into a new body, man. You know, for those of you that are watching this video that are in this truth, you're supposed to be already transformed to a certain state. The man that you were before you came into this truth, that man is to be no more. You're supposed to become a new creature in Yahweh Shai, to where you put on the likeness of these scriptures, to where you start growing your beard, you stop indulging in certain things that you did indulge in the world. I should say unlawful things that you did indulge in the world. Okay? You stop doing certain things that will offend the Heavenly Father. Okay? You see what I'm saying? So you're already supposed to be transformed to a certain status, and then you're supposed to be waiting for the next transform to come, which is going to be by the way of those so-called UFOs, the vehicles of salvation. And if you receive this Neuralink, or you know, a Karagma, you know what I'm saying, the MOTB, guess what? The scriptures tell you about them that are going to be in that lake of fire that the Heavenly Father is going to pour out without mixture, okay, which is the nuclear destruction of America. You don't want to be involved in that, all right? Because the time is going to come where the hour of temptation is going to come upon the whole world. It tells you that, okay? And you want to be able to endure. So I'll read it again. It says the primary goal of the project is to establish a link between the brain and a computer to combat the power of artificial intelligence. It says to do this, a sewing machine-like device will be used to sew threads to a brain chip that has been implanted. This is madness. It says Musk's Neuralink is unlikely to be extensively used for 10 to 15 years. Well, guess what? You devils don't got 10 to 15 years in my estimation. Okay? Shit, World War III is right there. That's why they started up Operation Warp Speed. All right? It says, according to Mark Zuckerberg, another goddamn small hat, CEO of Meta, because normal people will not want to have immature technology implanted in their brains, Zuckerberg joked during an interview with the Joe Rogan Experience podcast that he thought regular people would probably not want a Neuralink implant until the technology is mature. Well, we'll see what happens in the future. Just know that this thing is coming and it's right around the corner. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. It's been a quick news update. Shalom to the elect.